I'm pretty sure everyone who plays Face It, matchmaking, ESCA, whatever, when they play Mirage on T side and the initial spread around the map default doesn't work, they go for the infamous let's go for the A smokes execute, and that involves throwing a smoke for stairs, smoke for connector, smoke for CT, planting the bomb probably on the default spot, and then playing the after plant situation after that. And most often the positions that players go for are sandwich, ramp, the ninja corner, A apps, and maybe somewhere in shadow or on top of A house, something like that, right? And the reason this doesn't work is because it's done early on and the CT still have a lot of grenades, especially the guys from B, molotovs and smokes. So you see the CT smoke off A apps almost always, molly this spot to clear it out, maybe even throw a molly or a smoke towards ramp, and this makes it extremely difficult for the T's to play the afterplan situation because they can't have crossfires with the players from ramp. This side of the map or the site is pretty much cut off for them, and they only can focus on the players that they have on ramp, and perhaps if they have someone on the lurk, or which would be much better in my opinion, if you actually, while you're getting the bomb down, you have players pushing towards CT, flashing their way through, or flashing towards connector. Now in tier 1 CS we don't even see teams go for these executes all that often. I mean, Dignitas is a team that still does it, one of the very few pretty much, and you will see why this execute didn't work for them in this particular game against VP. So you can see that once they go for it, one of the problems as well is that a player can always go through the smoke here towards bench and peek, and he has the advantage there because it's harder for you to see him than it is for him to see you. Similar thing applies if a player jumps on the box near the CT spawn, can get a cheeky kill and then fall back. So you will see that's pretty much what happens to Dignitas in this execute, even though it looks to me like Config is trying to push towards CT and someone was supposed to flash him in so they can get control. Bialy gets on top of the box, manages to get that kill. Even though he's naded, he does the same thing to SMF after he plants the bomb, then Taz pushes through the smoke. Pretty much the execute falls apart for Dignitas. So let's see how a team can actually win a round when they go for this exact same execute. Now you see how deep I had to dig for this one, boys. I had to go all the way to NACS and find an example of someone actually running this strat, and props to EchoFox, though they did run it properly in this particular round. And you can see that they have a weak buy. They just got reset by Complexity, and Complexity knows this. You can see how they're spread around the map. They're not anywhere close so that they can get wrecked by the Tech 9s. Pretty much Surreal has the AWP, so now you'll see how they throw the smokes. They have the Tech 9s and they're already grouping towards connector. Sean Gears with the pop flash for them to push and try to get some kills there. Shazam going straight for the plant for connector, which is also super important while the smokes are there. If you don't plant while the smokes are there, you're probably not going to get the chance to plant the bomb at all. So EchoFox does a proper execute, good timings. They manage to get the kills as well. They take control of jungle, window. Pretty much they get the guns as well, and that leaves, you see how much more difficult it is for Complexity now. Even if they were in a 3v3, let's say, even if the numbers were equal, Surreal now has to worry when he pushes about, all these angles. Ape needs to be careful in his rotate. Android as well needs to worry about all these close spots in connector, which is pretty much impossible to clear all of those or to get a kill without being immediately traded. So the T's can lose the round at this point basically only by making a huge mistake. So EchoFox will win this round. And another thing that you can do is try and innovate the A execute in itself a little bit, right? Try to switch it up a little bit, and we saw Tyloo do exactly that against Astralis at Star Series with a really cool smoke execute towards A. And this is something I think VP has done before. They're not the first team I saw them execute it, but I haven't seen it in a long time nonetheless, so it was pretty cool to see it again. And can see the difference. Fancy goes early on towards B to try and get a pick. He also forces Zipnix to spend the smoke and a Molotov. The CTs are spending most of their grenades. Now you can see that they're low on utility at this point. Kerrigan will throw the last smoke that he has, and Tyloo is just going to wait it out. So when it comes to the execute itself, you can see how they throw a wall of smokes here, which negates the bench position, the box position here. Pretty much have only to worry about sandwich, close ramp somewhere, and not even the shadow player can see you. So maybe if he's here, but you have a player from apps to immediately get the trade. The goal is to get a trade if someone is close and go straight for the plant for short, which TD is doing. You can see Fancy going on the long flank. He's supposed to get to Cat for the after plant situation, and all that Tyloo needs to do, I mean, they already won the round even before it comes to that. They only need to get trade kills coming in. So if Fancy is left in a 1v2, 1v3, it's doable. If you're in a 2v3, it's probably gonna be favorable for you. Even a 2v4 is winnable because they don't expect him at Cat. He has a good plan. They don't have a smoke for the defuse, and it's a really cool way of doing something slightly different. And this is really important for you to have the presence of mind to know that it's not just about getting into the site and planting the bomb. You need to have an idea of how you're going to play the after plant situation, right? How are you going to battle the CTs in their retake? Are you going to send someone around for a long flank? You need to have a plan for it, because otherwise you're just going to get shut down. You're going to get flushed out by Molotovs, cut out by smokes, and it's going to be pretty much a straightforward round for the CTs. So yeah, that was it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions in comments or on Twitter as per usual, and that's it.